In conclusion, Jarvis is not only a man with a mission, but someone who truly lives the CLU mission in all areas of his life. I'm honored to welcome Jarvis Streeter to the CLU Alumni Association as an honorary alumnus.
Well, who was that guy? Let me begin by thanking the CLU Alumni Association this morning for this great honor. I've long thought that having the former students of yours say that they would like you to be one amongst them now that they have graduated is just a terrific honor, and I'm very much humbled to receive it. So I want to thank the Alumni Association for this great honor. I want to direct my remarks this morning especially to the students who are here. My hope is that all of you will be able to get something out of what I say, but I'm especially focused on the students. Because what I want to speak about this morning to you is success. We all want to be successes in life and enjoy the benefits that come with that. And most of you students who are here this morning already know something about success, otherwise you wouldn't be here receiving the accolades that you've been given already this morning. You've been successful as students, which means that you've shown an aptitude beyond the norm for doing your assignments, doing them on time, and doing them well. You've also shown responsibility in that you've been able to handle this and so many different other things on campus simultaneously. It's a rich and busy life for students, and somehow you've managed to fit academics in there someplace and to do it very well. Your success here bodes well, I think, for your ability to succeed in the working world in whatever field or fields you will choose to spend your lives working. But what does success mean beyond school? What does it mean in the workplace? Or what does success mean in life? And is there a difference between success in the workplace and success in life? These are the kind of questions that I would like to explore this morning with you. Success in the workplace will look much like success in school has done. That you will be required to do your work on time, to do it well, and to also be the kind of person who is simply there and supportive of your colleagues as well. And so in this, if you do these things, you will gain the working world's equivalent of an A, which is promotions and advancement in salary. You will also gain a reputation in the midst of all of this, and I think this is one of the things that is so crucial, is to understand how important it is to have a good reputation among your colleagues and those who are above you. Having a good reputation can take you a long way towards success in this life. Now, most of us tend to think that being a success in life is pretty much about the same as being a success in the workplace. In fact, our culture defines at least 3 features of success that are very notable and I think are fundamentally shared by most people. First of these criteria is wealth. If you have attained a great deal of money, then you are normally thought to have been successful in this life. Now, everybody needs some degree of wealth, right, to survive, to have a home, to have food on the table, clothes to wear, to take care of your family, and even some creature comforts beyond that. We would like to think we would have comfortable and relatively secure lives. But what passes for wealth in our culture is far more than just having a relatively comfortable life. It's normally thought that the more money you have, the better you are, the more successful you are. And in fact, this includes even what I would consider to be obscene wealth. So successful people, we think, are the ones who drive the nicest cars, who wear the best clothes and shoes, have the watches, the big homes, the glorious homes, showpieces, right? Even showpiece spouses seem to be included in things that wealth can buy. So it strikes me that at the bottom, really, the more gaudy your lifestyle, the more successful most people think you are. The second of these cultural standards for success is fame. More widely one's name is known, the more successful a person is typically thought to be. And so we follow the news on People magazine, we read these kinds of things, even some more lowly things at the checkout counters in supermarkets. We follow blogs of some people that we think are important. We follow their tweets even these days, right? Keeping up with those people who are famous that somehow we glom onto and somehow reflect some of that ourselves. We know successful people simply by their faces, right? You can recognize somebody, and that means that they're famous. Some people are so famous they only need to go by one name. Think Beyonce or the Donald or Madonna, other such folks. And some people are famous just for being famous, like the Kardashians. But when you look a little more closely, what you find is that their fame is not just for being famous, it's for being wealthy. If they didn't have the great wealth, they would not be considered to be such interesting and famous people. So, interestingly then, we see wealth and fame typically go together in our definitions of a successful person. The third factor in this is power, particularly the power to shape events or the power to shape people's thoughts and actions. Here we typically think of politicians, and especially those who are on the largest scales, the national and international scale. These folks are very influential, very powerful, and their decisions shape people's lives and how society is played. Actors, even sports people, are hired to speak for different products, to sell products, or to speak on behalf of causes, because of the personal power that their fame carries with it. The advertisers think these folks can sell anything, and so pay them to sell it because of this aura of power. If they use it, we should use it. If they support this cause, we should support this cause. So what we have here really are a triad of things: wealth, fame, and power. And the typical thought is, if you have all of these three things going on for you, you are one of the very successful people in life. If you're rich and famous and powerful, you stand at the pinnacle of success in our society. But what concerns me in all of this is what isn't included in this common definition of success. Namely, the kind of person that you are. The kind of person that you've made yourself into over the course of your lives. In fact, the kind of person you are doesn't even really seem to matter very much. We all know people who have been successful by wealth, power, and fame's criteria, and yet are really pretty smarmy people. Not people that we would want to spend time with. But that doesn't seem to matter, sadly. If you've got enough wealth, if you've got enough fame, if you've got enough power, you're thought to be a success no matter how rotten a person you might be in your dealings with other people. So it seems to me that this cultural definition of success really needs to be stood on its head, especially if you're a person who subscribes to any kind of religious or Christian values. Being who you are should not be at the bottom. Rather, it should be at the top of these lists. It's not what you have or what have accomplished in life, but who you are. Broadly speaking, I think there are two basic ways that you can relate to others. Either that you can use them as means to get what you would like to get in life, in which case you're basically using them as tools for your advantage, or you can relate to them as people and value them simply because they are human beings and they have intrinsic worth in that. The one approach is fundamentally self-centered and is characteristic of the kind of person I call a taker. The other is characteristic of the more person-centered kind of a person, which is typically the sort of person who is a giver in life, not a taker. And it's this kind of giving person that Christianity and the other great religions identify as truly successful people, as those who possess wisdom, and if they live this wisdom, will find happiness and peace in life. The New Testament writers sometimes spoke of the difference between what the world values and what God values. And that strikes me as particularly important here in our thought about success. By the world's standards, Jesus was a total failure. He lived a short life, he was poor, he was executed as a criminal, and yet by God's relations, by who he was in relationship to others, by his love and how others loved him, he had to be one of the most successful people who's ever lived. He did indeed become famous eventually, but it wasn't for his worldly success or his wealth or his power. Rather, his success, his being remembered, has come precisely because of the sort of loving person that he was to all of those that he encountered. The truth of this kind of inverted sense of success has really been driven home to me in my life, and particularly in the last 20 months or so since I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I long accepted the Christian understanding of success as being determined by how loving a person you are, but what I never realized was how that knowledge can be in your head, but doesn't necessarily permeate your whole being. But once you're dying and facing imminent death, you look at things rather differently. And what I have been so struck by in the last 20 months is the unbelievable amount of love that I have been shown by so many people, and the love that I've been able to return to those people as a gift, in thanks for their gift. What I accomplish now is less important than who I am. And what I try to do is simply to treat everybody that I encounter each day in a loving fashion, if that's at all possible, even in the smallest ways of just saying hello and recognizing the existence of another person. That, to me, is a gift that I can give them, and that I hope makes their life better. And as a result of all of this, I have to say I honestly feel like a success more from this than from all the other things that I have ever done or accomplished in my life. It's being a loving person now that, to me, has become the main measure of success. So what I wish for you students this morning, and really for all of you who are here, is the same feeling of success that I now have. I hope that when you begin to think about being successful in life, you'll start with yourself, with the kind of person that you would like to be, figure out who that is, and then become that person. If you are this kind of loving person, I believe the other aspects of worldly success will take care of themselves, and you'll be just fine. This is because I think all the other kinds of success are really only of value when they build on the foundation of being a person for others, a loving person in others' lives. Being loving is the cake. Everything else is just frosting. So congratulations again to all of you students for what you have accomplished. You're off to a wonderful start in life, and I hope nothing but the best for you. I hope that your lives will be wonderful and filled with love and with joy. And once again, let me thank the Alumni Board for presenting me with this great honor of making me an honorary alumnus this morning. Thank you.